Chen was invisible at the shooting range. SEALs called her Target Girl and ignored her existence, until Chief Thorne challenged her and Maya hit a perfect shot at 3,400 meters. At that moment, everyone knew this woman was not ordinary. Welcome to the Frontline Voices. Before we begin this action-packed story, tell us in the comments which city you're watching from today, and if you believe stories like this need to be heard, hit that subscribe button. Chen was invisible at the shooting range. SEALs called her Target Girl and ignored her existence, until Chief Thorne challenged her and Maya hit a perfect shot at 3,400 meters. At that moment, everyone knew this woman was not ordinary. This secret training base in Nevada was where elite Navy SEALs completed their final preparations before deployment. Chen, 28, had worked here as a target technician for 3 years. Her loose-fitting pants and faded service shirt concealed her athletic build, her brown hair tightly tucked under a standard cap. Maya had mastered the art of being invisible. She never drew attention, did her job quietly, and followed orders without question. "Target in Lane 6 is tilted again," barked Lieutenant Commander Reeves, not bothering to look directly at her. "Fix it before the next rotation." "Yes, sir," Maya replied, her voice deliberately neutral. Today was long-distance marksmanship qualification day. Harsh desert winds, heat-induced mirage effects, and pressure from commanding officers had made the atmosphere tense. As Maya walked to Lane 6, she couldn't help but notice environmental factors. The wind at the firing line moved differently than the flags indicated downrange. The mirage effect was creating a familiar distortion pattern. These observations came naturally to her, calculations forming unbidden in her mind. 14 minutes left, gentlemen," called Reeves. "Thorne, you're up next." Chief Petty Officer Thorne strutted to the firing position. Known as the team's best marksman, he carried himself with the cocky assurance of someone who rarely missed. Other SEALs gathered behind him, ready to witness another impressive display. Maya stepped back, clipboard in hand, tasked with recording results. She kept her eyes down but couldn't help making mental adjustments to Thorne's setup as he prepared. His first attempt at the 2,000-meter target missed right. "Wind kicked up," he muttered, making an adjustment. His second shot missed left. A ripple of unease went through the group. Maya noticed Thorne's breathing pattern changing, his composure slipping. She made a small note in her logbook. His third shot also missed. "Damn it!" Thorne slammed his hand against the bench. "Having an off day, Chief," someone joked nervously. Thorne's eyes narrowed when he caught sight of Maya writing in her notebook. "Something to say, Target Girl?" he called out, his voice sharp with humiliation. The range went quiet. Maya froze, pen hovering above paper. "No, sir, just recording the results." "Really?" Thorne stood, stalking toward her. "Because it looks to me like you're critiquing my shooting." "Knock it off, Thorne," Commander Reeves interjected, though without much conviction. Thorne ignored him, stopping directly in front of Maya. "Since you're taking notes on my technique," he said loud enough for everyone to hear, "why don't you show us how it's done?" A few SEALs chuckled uncomfortably. "That's not necessary, sir," Maya said quietly. "I insist." Thorne held out his Barrett. It's a caliber rifle. The 3,400-meter target, one shot. Commander Reeves stepped forward. "Chief, this is inappropriate." "What's inappropriate is having civilians judge operators without knowing what they're looking at," Thorne cut in. His eyes never left Maya. "So, Target Girl, put up or shut up." The challenge hung in the desert air. Every eye turned to Maya, most expecting her to decline and retreat in humiliation. Instead, after a moment's hesitation, she set down her clipboard and reached for the rifle. Something shifted in her demeanor, subtle but unmistakable. Her hands took the weapon with practiced ease, checking the chamber and controls in a smooth professional sequence that made several operators exchange glances. Master Chief Adler, the oldest team member, stepped forward slightly, his weathered face creasing with concentration as he watched Maya adjust the scope with quick, precise movements. His eyes narrowed when she did so without referencing wind charts or range tables. As Maya moved to the firing position, the atmosphere changed. What had begun as mockery transformed into uncomfortable curiosity. She assumed a perfect prone position, her breathing immediately falling into the controlled rhythm familiar to any trained sniper. Thorne crossed his arms, a smirk playing across his face. "Any time now, rookie." Maya didn't respond. Her focus had narrowed to the task. As she peered through the scope, old muscle memory took over. Years of pretending, of hiding, of being invisible. All of it fell away. In that moment, she was her father's daughter once more. Complete silence fell over the range. Even the desert wind seemed to hold its breath. Maya's finger rested lightly against the trigger as she made her final calculations. At 3,400 meters, well beyond the effective range most snipers trained for, every variable became critical. She exhaled slowly, controlled, and squeezed the trigger between heartbeats. The Barrett roared, its massive recoil absorbed perfectly by Maya's stance. She didn't flinch. Seconds stretched as the round traveled the immense distance. No one moved, no one spoke. Then, faintly in the distance, the unmistakable ring of a direct hit. "No freaking way," someone whispered. The spotters frantically checked their scopes. "Center mass," one called out, disbelief evident in his voice. "Direct bullseye at 3,400 meters." The SEALs erupted in shocked exclamations. Several rushed to verify the hit themselves. Thorne stood frozen, the smirk wiped clean from his face. Maya rose smoothly from her position. Without ceremony, she handed the Barrett back to Thorne, their eyes meeting briefly. She offered no smile, no explanation, no gloating remark. She simply turned and walked away, resuming her duties as if nothing extraordinary had happened. Behind her, the chaos of voices grew. "Did you see that? Impossible shot. Who is she?" Commander Reeves watched her with new eyes, reassessing everything he thought he knew about the quiet range technician. Master Chief Adler moved away from the group, pulling out his phone. His fingers trembled slightly as he dialed a number he hadn't used in years. "Sir," he said quietly when the line connected, "I think we found Phantom's daughter." That evening, Maya returned to her sparse quarters on base, a simple room with minimal personal effects. Years of living under the radar had taught her to travel light, to leave nothing that could trigger recognition. She sat on her bed, finally allowing her hands to shake. The moment the rifle had settled against her shoulder, muscle memory had taken over. 8 years of training with her father, the man the military had nicknamed Phantom for his ability to hit targets no one else could see, had embedded skills she could never truly erase. A soft knock interrupted her thoughts. She opened the door to find Master Chief Adler standing beside a trim man in civilian clothes. "Miss Kestrel," Adler said, his voice gentler than she'd ever heard it. "May we come in?" Maya hesitated, then stepped aside. "Or should I say," the Master Chief continued once the door closed, "Lieutenant Kestrel." Maya's calm facade finally cracked. Her shoulders sagged as the weight of recognition settled upon her. "How long have you known?" she asked. "I suspected since I saw you handle that rifle," Adler replied, "but I wasn't certain until I made a call." The civilian stepped forward. "My name is Crawford. Your father was my commanding officer. Phantom saved my life in Kandahar." Maya's eyes widened slightly, the first real emotion she'd shown all day. "Then you know what happened to him?" Crawford and Adler exchanged glances. "Not exactly," Crawford admitted, "but we know he didn't betray his country, despite what the official record states." Maya's jaw tightened. "He was set up. Operation Blackout was compromised before it began." "That's what we believe too," Crawford nodded. "Is that why you've been moving from base to base, looking for information?" "I've been tracking the men who were there that night," Maya confirmed. "The ones who survived, the ones who lied." Master Chief Adler studied her with new understanding. "That shot today. No one's made that distance consistently since your father." "He was the best," Maya said simply. "And he taught you everything he knew," Crawford added. It wasn't a question. Maya moved to her small closet, pulling out a weathered metal box from beneath a stack of uniforms. She unlocked it and removed a folded paper. "This was the last thing he gave me before he disappeared." She handed it to Crawford. Coordinates, names, details about Blackout that never made the official report. Crawford studied the paper, his expression grave. "This changes everything." "There's more," Maya said. "But first, I need to know what happens now. You found me. What are you going to do about it?" "That depends," Crawford replied, "on whether you're willing to finish what your father started." The next morning, as the sun cast long shadows across the desert, Maya approached the range. This time she walked differently. Spine straight, eyes forward, purpose in her stride. Gone was the deliberate invisibility she had cultivated for years. The SEAL team was already assembled. As she neared, conversations halted. All eyes turned toward her. She wore the same range technician uniform, but now Lieutenant Spars gleamed on her collar. Thorne stepped forward first, his expression unreadable. For a moment, tension crackled between them. Then, slowly, he extended his hand. "Lieutenant," he said, offering a respectful nod. Maya accepted the handshake. "Chief." Commander Reeves approached next. "Welcome to the team, Kestrel, officially this time." Maya smiled. "Thank you, sir." She was no longer Maya Chen. She was Lieutenant Kestrel, Phantom's daughter, and she was ready to get revenge for her father. Did this story impact you? Have you ever met someone with hidden talents like Maya? Share in the comments, and if you believe stories like this need to be heard, don't forget to follow the Frontline Voices.